Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Look at this, near record highs this afternoon with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, but I'll show you why it will feel so much different tomorrow.
A 2-year-old shot. New calls this morning for youth safety in Durham from community members and city leaders.
New tariffs on China. The response from Beijing minutes after those tariffs took effect at midnight. And which nations may be the next targets for trade barriers. So many things changing so quickly. We're here to help you make sense of it all. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday. We're here to get you started. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of the early hours on your Tuesday as we get rolling here. It is so mild out there, so nice. 2 days in a row here before we hit speed bumps. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now.
It's a nice start out there this morning. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh, down Fayetteville Street. You can see the flags there. Maybe hard to pick out on this camera, but the flags are definitely moving around. We have breezy conditions, southwest wind at 6 miles per hour right now, and that is helping to push even warmer air in. Yesterday we hit 70. We're looking at mid to upper 70s today. 50 degrees right now, so you probably don't need your heaviest winter coat heading out the door. 50 in Fayetteville, 49 in Goldsboro, 52 degrees right now in Roxborough. Our temperatures are anywhere from 5 to 20 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday, so big jump. Lunchtime temperature 67 will likely tie the previous record of 76 that was set back in 1957. But tomorrow a front drops south and it's going to completely change our weather. I'll show you that coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, at 6:01, we're going to keep it outside, give you a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. This is Lake Wheeler here in the foreground, I-40 in the distance. Traffic definitely picked up, but flowing nicely in both directions. As we widen out the view, give you a live look at a live traffic map this morning. No incidents to report, courtesy of our friends at Raleigh Wake 911. So all the major routes are free and clear this morning. You're getting ready to head into the corridor. Just pop us on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the triangle.
Ken, thanks. Breaking news overnight. China is putting trade sanctions of its own on the U.S. after a 10% tariff on Chinese imports went into effect at midnight. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from the Village District in Raleigh. And Laura, China announced its own tariffs of 10 to 15% on some U.S. products.
Renee, good morning. Well, many of the products we buy as consumers at local businesses, just like the ones you see here in the Village District, are made in China. Now this morning, the country not backing down, in fact, slamming the U.S. overnight with a series of countermeasures. That includes levies on certain American goods. Now, Chinese Finance Ministry says it will impose tariffs of 15% for U.S. coal and liquid natural gas and 10% for crude oil, farm equipment, agriculture, machinery, and large engine cars imported from the U.S. They also announced they will restrict some critical minerals, including tungsten, which is essential for producing cell phones and laptops. So in a statement, the Chinese Finance Ministry said the U.S. tariffs severely violate World Trade Organization rules and not only fail to address America's own problems, but also disrupt normal economic and trade cooperation between China and the United States. So this morning, of course, we will continue to follow this news and how it could impact our local economy here. Now, those counter tariffs from China are slated to take effect next Monday, February 10th. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Bracing for a potential trade showdown with the U.S. The president of the European Commission says she wants to start negotiating with the U.S. early. Trump has said the European Union will be another target for tariffs. He claims the EU has, quote, really taken advantage of us.
And Renee, we're watching how the U.S. futures are doing, the stock futures, that is, this morning. Still another day of falling futures as we're waking up to. Yesterday, though, we saw several hundred points down for the S&P, Dow Jones, and NASDAQ. But today, not as bad, right? S&P down 9 points, Dow Jones down 89, and the NASDAQ down about 2-ish points. So we're seeing things slightly improve, an asterisk next to the word improvement there. We're going to see how things look for the opening bell as investors are reacting to China announcing those planned tariffs on U.S. imports.
A 2-year-old boy is recovering after he was shot in the leg in Durham. It happened at the Oxford Manor housing complex on Wigan Street just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The boy's aunt says he was playing on the sidewalk in front of the home when someone started shooting. One of the bullets hit him in the leg.
Whoever you were trying to target it was a whole toddler right there. whatever you got going on could wait for whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care what y'all got going on. It was the whole Tyler right there.
The boy's aunt says he was released from the hospital last night and is recovering at home. Police have not said if they know who was the intended target of that shooting. They're still working to make an arrest.
New this morning, a man is seriously hurt after shooting in Goldsboro. Officers responded to Madison Avenue just after 10 last night after getting a shot spotter alert. They found a man who had been shot. That man was taken to UNC Health Wayne and later transported to ECU Medical. Police say they have substantial leads toward making an arrest.
Covering Wake County today, school leaders will lay out their top priorities for lawmakers in Raleigh. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Wake School's headquarters. The board wants lawmakers to focus on issues like teacher pay and school calendars. Kelsey, good morning.
Jeff, good morning. Those board members will meet here at Wake School headquarters later today to talk about what they want to bring before state lawmakers. They have three main priorities: teacher pay, funding special education, and making some changes to the school calendars. So let's talk about teacher pay first. School leaders want to pay teachers more. That's usually an ask every year. They're also looking to start school earlier in August. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says that's because they want to have their calendars align with community colleges. This comes as more high schoolers are taking college classes.
Disabilities and students with more mild disabilities and students with more severe disabilities are funded at the exact same rate of pay. And something that we've heard from state officials, but also school officials on a more local level, is they would really like to see that change.
Walkenhorst says all of these are just general ideas. They have not put a dollar amount to these requests. So we'll be sure to stay on top of this and keep you updated on what comes out of tonight's meeting that's scheduled for 5:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Today, President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will meet at the White House. Netanyahu will be the first foreign leader to visit Trump during his second term. The meeting comes as Netanyahu faces pressure to begin talks about phase 2 of the ceasefire deal with Hamas. White House officials say Trump and Netanyahu will hold a joint news conference at some point today.
We're hearing from the family of Keith Siegel, the Chapel Hill native who is now free after being held in captivity by Hamas for more than a year. Speaking from a hospital in Israel, his family says he is weak and thin, but they are very grateful he is alive. This is video from the weekend when Siegel was finally reunited with his family. He's one of 33 hostages to be released in this ceasefire deal. His wife, Aviva, called on Israel to help.
The relief I feel is incredible. Yet, as I hold him close, my thoughts are with the 79 families who are still waiting for their loved ones to return.
Aviva and Keith Siegel were both taken hostage October 7th, 2023. She was released 51 days later.
Protests in Los Angeles are challenging President Donald Trump's immigration policies. People carried signs and Mexican flags as they marched last night. Police declared an unlawful assembly and threatened to arrest anyone who didn't leave. Some later set cars on fire. Several protesters say they blame police for escalating the situation.
UNC men's basketball head coach Hubert Davis says changes will be coming to his coaching staff. Davis says they plan to increase the size of the staff, hiring a general manager and adding more positions involved with the intricacies of modern college athletics like NIL and the transfer portal. Carolina's coming off a 17-point loss to rival Duke Saturday. The Heels are at risk, dangerously, of missing the NCAA tournament.
Model for Carolina basketball just doesn't work. It's not sustainable. It has to build out because there's so many things in play with NIL, the transfer portal, agents, and you need a bigger staff so I can do what I'm supposed to be doing, is that coaching basketball.
Still a lot of basketball left this season. Of note, though, rival Duke has had a general manager for its men's basketball team since the summer of 2022.
Immigration enforcement rumors.
We cannot continue going on as a nation with fear in people's hearts like we saw today.
A local sheriff tries to calm people's fears. The social media post that led to the panic.
And you can see something special in the sky tonight, where and when you look to see the next SpaceX rocket launch.
And try to plan some time outside today. It's going to feel great, like spring near record highs in the mid-70s. But I'll show you why Wednesday is going to feel like winter. No snow, but I'll show you what to expect.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12, we take a live look at Fayetteville this morning. Nice and quiet out there. Of course, it's early. The sun will be coming up here in just a little while, and it's going to be clear and beautiful. We have the tower lit in blue for clear skies across the area. You don't need to grab your heavy winter coat heading out the door today, but that may change a little later in the week. Right now, it's pretty pleasant out there. 50 in Lewisburg, 53 Tarboro. Irwin's at 45, 51 in Goldsboro, 50 in Rocky Mount. Notice that Irwin's showing up there with fog as the icon. It's possible that there would be a few small pockets of fog this morning, but certainly it won't be widespread like it was yesterday. Most of us are clear. It's a great day to head out for exercise. Our temperatures are so mild this morning. And of course, we're looking at the potential to tie a record high. I'll show you when the chilly air returns coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, we're keeping it outside in the WRAL Traffic Center, giving you a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue this morning. Traffic definitely picked up, but flowing nicely in both directions. To all points west, Durham, Hillsborough, Chapel Hill, all those routes are delay-free, 15, 501, 885. As we widen out the view, our friends at Raleigh Wake 911 not reporting any major incidents this morning, so all those routes are delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head outdoor, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle. And coming up in just a few minutes from there, I'll check those drive times to some of our major routes.
All right, sounds good. Ken, thank you. After months of negotiations, Wake Med has reached an agreement with Aetna. They are renewing their Medicare Advantage plans. With the contract in place, Wake Med will continue scheduling and providing services on an in-network basis for plan members. Patients should not experience any interruptions in care.
In Edgecombe County, the sheriff is trying to reassure people after a social media post that suggested immigration enforcement agents were entering schools there. He says it is not true. The post claimed all Mexican students were being called into the school's offices. It led to widespread rumors that ICE agents were rounding up students. The sheriff's office responded to the rumor, saying the students were being summoned for pre-scheduled English as a second language testing. Sheriff Cleveland Atkinson says this is just an example of the fear that is spreading in the Latino community.
I just pray to God that we can fix this, because we cannot continue going on as a nation with fear in people's hearts like we saw today.
Sheriff Atkinson says he is asking people to call him directly with any concerns about ICE agents in schools.
SpaceX is launching a rocket tonight, and it could provide some nice views for people in our area. Meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us now. Chris, tell us about what people could see in the sky.
Yeah, so this was a launch that was supposed to happen last night. It has since been delayed to this evening, and it happens off of Florida's Cape Canaveral at 6:07 this evening. That's at least the scheduled time. This is what it could look like in our skies. This is something we saw back on July the 3rd, when the sky was maybe a little bit darker than what it's going to be this evening. The weather looks good for the launch. Minimal cloud cover that oftentimes can play a role in whether or not they have a successful launch. But if you're watching from the Triangle, the Sand Hills, you got to look toward the east, toward the coastline after 6:07 and potentially up until 7 p.m. Now, sunset is at 5:44, so I don't think the sky is going to be pitch black, but what you could see is the vapor trail from the exhaust of the rocket as it goes towards some higher altitudes and moves off toward the east and northeast. If you have any pictures, any videos, we want to see it, we want to share it. The simplest thing you can do is go to WRAL.com/report it. Looking forward to seeing if you guys can spot it in the eastern sky this evening.
We'll be watching. Canadian province of Ontario is scrapping its $100 million contract with Elon Musk's Starlink. Ontario Premier Doug Ford said he's ripping up the contract. He signed the deal last year to bring high-speed internet to people in rural areas. The move is the latest retaliation since President Trump threatened Canada with tariffs.
A new convention center in Durham is one step closer to reality. According to a new study, Durham is losing millions of dollars on events that cannot fit into the current convention center. During a meeting yesterday, county commissioners discussed building a new one, which could help downtown businesses that still have yet to recover from the pandemic.
One of the components of the community that is the most interested in this is our local business owners, particularly the folks downtown who run restaurants and bars and retail shops. They depend on downtown being vibrant and having people moving around and frequenting those places.
The county commissioners did not vote on any proposal last night.
Super Bowl week is underway in New Orleans with the festivities officially kicking off Super Bowl opening night at Caesars Superdome. Players and coaches from both sides made their first public appearances of the week. Fans also had a chance to take pictures with the Lombardi Trophy awarded to the winner of the big game. Coming up in What's Trending, we'll take a look at a viral moment involving Philadelphia's head coach. You can watch Super Bowl 59 on Fox 50. Kickoff is at 6:30 Sunday night. We're at 6:18 on our Tuesday morning right now and getting things started very comfortably. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, no matter where you look around our viewing area.
You don't need your big puffy coat this morning. Now, you may need it a little later in the week, but this morning, just very comfortable out there. Temperatures hovering close to 50 degrees. In Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, and Chapel Hill, our skies are clear. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill restaurant here. Let's take a look at what's happening out here. This is a big picture. On the south side of this front, we're nice and warm. That's where we'll stay today. On the north side of the front, we have cold air coming down from Canada. The cold front slides southward and delivers that cold air to us for tomorrow. So the warm air that we're seeing right now is not going to stick around. Again, you can see sort of the brighter colors here, the blue colors here. This front's going to wobble back and forth across our area starting tomorrow, really all the way into the weekend. So we're going to be watching out for just some real big changes that happen day to day. For today, a high of 76 likely to tie the record. For tomorrow, the high temperature only 49 as that cold air slides in. But by Thursday, it lifts northward again and temperatures will climb into the low 70s. There's also going to be some rain along this front as well. Nothing terribly heavy. For late tomorrow, we'll start to see just a few isolated showers that pop up along that front, mainly late in the day and in the evening. Thursday morning and the first half of the day, really Thursday, maybe a little on the wet side, and then we could dry out during the afternoon. Excuse me. And then the cold front on Friday kind of settles over us, again, with a chance for some precipitation. Again, all of that will be light, but again, it's going to be kind of on and off for us. 30% for Wednesday and Thursday, 20% Friday and Saturday, 30% again on Sunday. How much rainfall? Not a whole lot. Probably going to be around 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. And on Sunday, we're looking at some comfortable temperatures for the Super Bowl, but it is likely to be a little wet, especially in the afternoon and evening. So if you're planning to grill out, just keep watching it. Our temperatures are just all over the place. 49 tomorrow, 70s Thursday and Friday, 60 Saturday, 73 Sunday, and then back into the 50s on Monday. So spring is definitely not here to stay, as you can see.
What a week.
Back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely, Elizabeth. Thanks. Hey, let's start outside, give you a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lane's moving away from us. No brake tapping whatsoever, so delay-free this morning. Many of you use I-540 as an alternate east-west route, and you take a look from Lewisburg Road all the way to Glenwood Avenue this morning, free and clear and delay-free. So that's good news if 540 is part of your morning commute. Big picture, our friends at Raleigh Wake 911 not reporting any incidents on any of our major roadways, so that means they are free and clear. You're getting ready to head out the door this morning. What did you do us a favor? Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Ken, thanks. Top secret access for Elon Musk, the access he's getting to government files, and how President Trump is defending it.
And a post-Grammys announcement, Beyonce's going on tour, when you can see Queen Bee on stage.
And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. What's trending is next.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The Super Bowl opening night always comes with some memorable moments. This year was no exception.
Ken Smith here now with what's trending on a Tuesday, Ken.
Yeah, Jeff and Renee, this was quite the laugh, right? The night's most viral moment came during Eagles coach Nick Sirianni's press conference. Former NFL wide receiver Chad Ochocinco snuck up behind him and kissed him on the head. Sirianni said he'd been wanting to call Johnson, but couldn't get his number. But here's when that happened. Boom.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Aww. Chad Johnson, the Chad Ochocinco,
right.
formerly known as, the banter there, trying to get his number. They were on a Jason Kelsey show recently together, joking about how Chad thought he had some fresh legs and some snaps left in him, like he could play.
Said,
Third
like,
downs,
Coach, call me.
Yeah, give me a call.
Yeah, not so much. He was in the Beehive buzzing this morning, fresh off her Grammy wins. Beyonce going on tour. She announced 8 cities that will be her Cowboy Carter tour. It starts in Los Angeles in April. The closest she'll get to us will be the tour dates in those final months in D.C. and Atlanta. That's happening in July.
Yeah, 22 shows in total. She's doubling down in D.C. and in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, she'll be performing on July 4th. So that will be a memorable Independence Day celebration for sure.
Hot ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Ken, thank you. Ke Huy Quan is now immortalized outside Hollywood's TCL Chinese Theater. He was celebrated in a handprint ceremony there yesterday. Quan got his start as a child actor in The Goonies and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. In 2023, he became the first Asian man to win the SAG Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor for his performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
A new plan to offer relief to people in western North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. What's included in Governor Josh Stein's plan that calls for an additional $1 billion?
And you don't want to miss this one. What a nice day. We're starting off mild at around 50 degrees. If you're going to be out exercising, temperatures will be warmest midday at 76. Tomorrow's not going to look anything like this. I'll show you coming up.
Progress in the effort to recover the wreckage from the Potomac River after last week's mid-air collision near D.C. What crews are focusing on as they investigate into the crash.